Alright guys, welcome back. It is day 3 now, and I have been so impressed with all of the scholars who've been getting online and have been completing their independent work each and every day. Awesome job, Air 5. Shh. As you can see, I have a special guest with me today. This is my cat. If you haven't met my cat, her name is Kitty Badger. She loves to just sleep all day, as you can imagine, and she's going to be our special guest for today. So, hope you all don't mind having Kitty Badger here with us. Okay, couple of things that I want to remind you is that one, make sure you're watching the routine videos each and every day first. You have to watch that video first, because I will give you a question that you'll need to answer here right now in your guided practice. The second thing is that you need to watch this video all the way through. You have to watch the whole video. We're pretending like we're at school, and just like at school, we spend about 50 minutes in math. So one CGI block or one investigations block is 50 minutes. Each of these videos is about 40 to 45 minutes. So it's about the same time of being at school. So again, our goal is to be at school every day. The only difference is we're online here on our computers. So again, make sure you're watching the entire video straight through. I go through each question that you might see on your independent practice, and it's the best way to set yourself up for success. Cool? Great. The second thing is that you need to make sure that you are submitting all of your answers. You have to click that button, submit, on the Google form. We'll practice that today in our guided practice. And the third and last thing is that every day we have office hours. What office hours means is that you can get some additional help on any of the work, whether it's math or it's ELA. Those office hours are every day from 2:30 to 3:30. You can have, you will see Miss Hernandez or, hi Kitty Badger. You will see Miss Hernandez, Miss Rowe, or myself in those Zoom calls, and we will answer any questions that you have about any of the work, which includes any computer questions. So again, those office hours are each and every day from 2:30 to 3:30. Thank you, my treat. Good girl. Okay. Okay, guys, let's go ahead now and get started on today's guided practice. All right, so today is day 3. Why do I keep showing 2? Today is day 3, and again, guided practice. Perfect. Should look exactly like this. Should see a little basketball right here. Okay, I have my pen and my paper right here, so all of my materials are ready to go. Hopefully you've already done the same. Right now, go ahead and answer your routine question for today. Did you think that number sentence was over or under 600? Go ahead and click your response now. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with another story problem. In today's story problem, it is about Kim and her baby sister who are playing basketball. And Kim's baby sister needs a smaller basketball hoop. So because of that, hers is smaller than Kim's. And Kim's basketball hoop is 1,360 centimeters tall. Her baby sister plays on a hoop that is 849 centimeters tall. We need to figure out today how many more centimeters tall is Kim's basketball hoop than her baby sister's. Go ahead and take the time to yourself, read the story problem. Now that you've had some time to read the story problem to yourself, I'm sure that you started to pick up on a couple of things that I may have noticed, which is 1, there's a unit of measurement in the story. What's that unit of measurement? That's right, it's centimeters. Centimeter is a unit of measurement that mathematicians and scientists use to measure length, and in this case, how tall the basketball hoop is. So Kim's basketball hoop is 1,360 centimeters tall. And her sister's basketball hoop is 849 centimeters tall. So if Kim has the taller basketball hoop, I wonder how much taller it is than her baby sister's. Make sure you have your pen or pencil and your piece of paper ready to go. Again, I'm going to go ahead and give you 5 minutes. If you solve it one way in those 5 minutes, go ahead and solve it a different way. Good luck! All right, how did today's story problem go? Definitely a little bit different than Monday and Tuesday's story problem. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and review my strategy with your strategy. Again, I want you to think about what is the same or what's different about our strategies. And I also want you to see if you made any mistakes or errors. And if you did, see if you can find them. All right, so I thought for today I was actually going to start with addition instead of subtraction, even though I know I could actually use both to solve today's story problem. But I thought addition was going to be the easiest because it's still in the hundreds and I was needing to get to the thousands. So I started with the small number in the story, which is 849 centimeters. That's the height of Kim's baby sister's hoop. And then I added until I got to Kim's hoop, and the size of her hoop is 1,360 centimeters. So when I start with 849, I can just add 1 to make 850. I know 850 is a friendly number. What is it? That's right, it's a friendly number. We've talked about this a lot this week. This number's friendly because, again, it has a 0 in the ones place. It makes it so much easier for us to work with. Then when I used 850, I could take a big jump by adding 50. That then made 900. I continued on with 900 to add 100 to make 1,000. And I decided to start with 100 because I didn't want to get confused when I needed to write the number 1,000. Now that I'm at 1,000, I know I need to get to 360. So instead of breaking that number apart, I just kept it together. So 1,000 plus 360 equals 1,360. Well, that's the size of Kim's hoop. So now that I've made it from the baby sister's hoop, and I added until I got the size of Kim's hoop, I then knew that I can add all the numbers in the middle. So I started with 360 and 100. 360 plus 100, that makes 460. Then all I had left was 50 and 1. 50 plus 1 equals 51. I knew I needed to add 460 and 51 last, so that was my next step. And yesterday I had talked about how it was easy for me to add these numbers now since I lined them all up. We're going to talk about this very specific strategy today. Get excited. So I then added 460 plus 51, and I knew that makes 511. So I thought that the hoop, or at least Kim's hoop, was 511 centimeters tall. Well, since I had enough time and I wanted to make sure I had the correct answer, I went ahead and used another strategy to double check. And this time I actually did use subtraction. Well, I knew I needed to start with 1,360. And I was a little bit confused on how to draw 1,000, so I decided to just use 100s blocks. I knew I was going to need at least 10 100s blocks. That's because I know that 10 100s makes 1,000. How much does it make? That's right, it makes 1,000. 10 hundredths equals 1,000. Once I made it to 1,000, I then needed 3 more hundreds. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300. Then I just needed to show 60 using 6 10 sticks. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Well, I decided to take away 849. Thankfully, I had enough hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hundreds blocks I then crossed away. I needed to take away 49, so 10, 20, 30, 40, because I know that that's the same as 4 10 sticks. When I took away 9, I knew I would have 1 left over. All I had to do was just count the rest: 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 510, and 511. Same answer as I got in my first strategy, and I tried it a different way. Looks like my answer is correct. Kim's hoop is 511 centimeters taller than her baby sister. My first number sentence was addition. 849 plus 511 equals 1,360. And since my second strategy used subtraction, I did 1,360 minus 849, which equals 511. How'd you guys do? If you got that one correct, go ahead and give yourselves 2 pats on the back. Nice. Kitty Badger wants a high five. Yeah! Nice job, Kitty Badger. All right. Let's go ahead and type in our answer in the blank space. This time, I do want you to write the unit of measurement. So we're going to type in 511 centimeters. You can use cm or you can write the whole word out. Nice job, guys. Okay, I'm so excited because today we're going to practice a new strategy for addition and subtraction. This is probably a strategy you've actually seen before, or it's a strategy that you've already worked on with Miss Rowe this year. Get excited. Okay, I need to organize myself and get a new scratch piece of paper. Be back in a second. Okay, I have my scrap piece of paper now. I have 2 columns and we are on question number 2. So let's go ahead and look at that together. Question number 2 says, find the sum of 1,360 and 849 using the standard algorithm. Double check your work using a place value strategy. Go ahead and read that question to yourself. Okay, so let me review 2 words that are in that question that you may or may not have heard of before. So the first word is sum. This word should be familiar to all of you. And the word sum is the result when you add 2 or more numbers together. So when you add any number together, that result is called the sum. It's called that's right, the sum. So for example, 3 plus 4 equals 7. 7 is the sum of 3 and 4. So essentially, this question is asking us to add. It's asking us to, that's right, it's asking us to add a strategy we're all so good at. Then it says using the standard algorithm. Now, that's just a fancy word that mathematicians use for a certain kind of strategy. This strategy is where we line all of the numbers on top of each other. So this one may already be familiar to you. The question then asks us to double check using a place value strategy. This is definitely a strategy we should all be familiar with. So let's quickly review that one. So we're adding 1,360 plus 849 to find the sum. Now again, the sum is the result of when you add 2 or more numbers together. A place value strategy is where you break the numbers apart using their places, such as hundreds, tens, and ones, such as, that's right, hundreds, tens, and ones. So a lot of you might want to solve this number sentence using a place value strategy. When we use a place value strategy, we can start with the largest values. So let's start in the thousands. 1,000 plus no thousands just equals 1,000. Then we can go in the hundreds place. 300 plus 800 equals 1,100. In the tens, 60 plus 40 equals 100. Then in the ones place, 0 plus 9 equals 9. We can then add these last 4 numbers together as well. These numbers are also friendly numbers because there's lots of zeros in different places, which makes it easy to combine. I'm still going to start with the thousands. 1,000 plus 1,100 equals 2,100. 100 plus 9 equals 109. Then I can add these final two numbers. 2,100 plus 109 equals 2,209. Now, I know this strategy seems really long, but it's a really great way for us to really emphasize place value, to really emphasize, that's right, place value. Place value is really important when we want to know the values of different digits. So now let's go ahead and practice it where we stack the numbers on top of each other. The first thing that we're going to want to consider is that we want to make sure that when we stack the numbers on top of each other, we're stacking them based off of their place values, based off of their, that's right, place values. So when I'm putting 849 below 1,360, I'm going to line up all of the digits that are in the same place. We can think of it like different rooms. This is the ones room, the tens room, the hundreds room, and the 1,000s room. Now, when we add the numbers this way, one way that we're going to start it is that we're going to start in the ones place. 0 ones plus 9 ones equals 9 ones. We're going to write 9 just below the ones place. 6 tens plus 4 tens makes 10 tens. We know that value is the same as 100. So again, we need to make sure that we put the correct digit in its correct place value. The digit in the tens place for 100 is 0. The digit for 100 in the 100s place is the 1. So we write the 1 above the 100s place. Again, putting the 100 in its room. Now when we add the 100s, we have 100 plus 300 plus 800. When we combine 100 plus 800, that makes 900. 900 plus 300 makes 1,200. We already know that 200 is going to be in the 100s place. So again, we put the correct digit in the correct place. 2 is the digit for 200. We then put 1,000 in the 1,000s place. 1,000 plus 1,000 equals 2,000. We can then write our comma, separating the 1,000 and the hundreds place. We used two strategies to double check, so it looks like our answer is correct. Let's go ahead and type in our answer in the blank space. 2,209. Now I'm going to go ahead and organize my paper for question number 3. This time I'm going to draw a line beneath both of my questions. Question number 3 says, find the difference of 1,360 and 849 using the standard algorithm. Double check your work using a place value strategy. Ooh, this one's going to be a little bit tricky because I know that difference means subtraction. It means, that's right, subtraction. Subtraction can be a little bit tricky for us, but that's okay because we actually already know the difference between these two values. When we solved the story problem about Kim and her baby sister, these were the two numbers that were in the story. When we found the difference between those two numbers, it was 511 centimeters. So we already know that our answer is going to be 511. But now let's review how to use this strategy on paper. So we are now subtracting 849 from 1,360. And we're doing that to find the difference, that's right, to find the difference. The difference is when you subtract two or more numbers from each other. Okay, so when we are subtracting using this strategy, again, we want to line the numbers so that they are in their correct place. The hundreds are in their place, the tens are in their place, and the ones are in their place. Now, the first thing that I'm noticing is then, again, if I'm going to start in the ones place, this number sentence is 1,360 minus 840. So when I'm starting in the ones place, I can see that this shows 0 minus 9. Can you take 9 from 0? That's right, you can. So you have to do something called borrowing. That's right, called borrowing. Because you do not have enough ones, you go to the tens place. That's right, the tens place. And you say, I need to borrow a 10 so that I have enough for my ones. Since this place is showing 6 tens, you're going to go ahead and take 1 10. When you take 1 10, you now have 5 tens. You're going to give that 10 tens to the ones place so that they now have 10 ones. We now have enough to take 9 ones away. 10 minus 9 equals 1. We put 1 in the ones place. We continue to move into the tens place. 5 tens minus 4 tens. Do we have enough tens? We do. 5 tens minus 4 tens equals 110. Moving into the hundreds place, 300 minus 800. Can we do that? No. So we go to the thousands place to borrow 1,000. 1,000 is the same as 10 hundreds. Is the same as? That's right, 10 hundreds. If we borrow the 1,000, we no longer have 1,000. We give 100s 10 hundreds. So since this has 300, when we add 1000 to it, we now have 1300s. 1300s minus 800s equals 500s. So the difference between 1,360 and 849 is 511. You'll practice this again on your independent practice today. Let's go ahead and type in our answer in our form. 511. Nice job. All right, let's go ahead and organize our work for question number 4. I'm actually going to put question number 4 in the second column. As you can tell, Kitty Badger got back. She was running around for a little bit. Okay, question number 4 says, which comparisons are true? Now remember, a comparison is when mathematicians are trying to figure out if a number is greater than, less than, or even equal to that value. What I'm noticing about this particular question is that I'm going to have more than one answer, especially if I start to click. I'm noticing I'm going to have more than one answer. So this is a question where I'm going to have to evaluate all of the choices. So let's go ahead and write the first one on our scrap piece of paper. And I'm actually going to start lettering it A, B, C, D, E, like all of those as my answer choices. So A, and I'm trying to figure out if it's greater than, less than, or equal to. And A was 991, and that symbol is greater than 947. Well, again, I can read the numbers or I can go through each digit. So I'm going to read the numbers first. 991 is greater than 947. What do we think? Yeah, that one is definitely true. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we have that one circled in our answer choices. Okay, next one, we're going to write B. B says 3,166 is less than 1,663. Okay, 3,166 is less than 1,663. Well, I know that 3,000 is not less than 1,000, so that one is going to be not true, and I'm going to write NT next to not true. Okay, letter C. Go ahead and move these so we can see both. Okay, letter C is 2,436 is equal to 2,445. Well, I know that none of those digits are the same, so that is also not true. So B and C are not going to be my answers. Okay, letter D. 8,406 is less than 8,045. 8,406 is less than 8,045. When I evaluate each digit, 8,000 and 8,000 are the same. Then I go to the hundreds place, 400, 0, 100. That is not true. So I'm not going to choose D either. Okay, last one I'm calling letter E. 8,133 is greater than 8,129. So these numbers, 8,133 and 8,129, are pretty close. So I'm going to evaluate each digit. 8,000, 8,000. Those are the same. 100, 100. Those are the same. 30, 20. Those are not the same. Now I'm going to read the symbol. 30 is greater than 20. That is indeed true. So that is my last answer choice. So it looks like A and E are the correct answer for number 4. Okay, last and final one for our guided practice. It says, identify a digit. Identify a, that's right, a digit. So I'm going to write digit. So my annotation is write a digit. When placed in the box, makes this comparison true. 3,504 is greater than 3,569. So I'm going to write those values. 3,500. I'm going to put a box there. 4 is greater than 3,569. So I'm going to evaluate each digit. That's right, each digit. We're almost there. 3,000, 3,000. Those are the same. I'm moving to the next value. 500, 500. Those are the same. Now I have a blank in the tens place. In the next number, I have a 6 in the tens place. So I'm looking for a digit that is greater than the 6 digit. Well, I could choose 7. Could I choose any other numbers? Oh, what about 8 or 9? So we could also choose more than one answer for this one. So if I know that 7, 8, and 9 are greater than the 6 digit, then any one of these could be a correct answer. So I could choose one of these. I will choose 7. Now let's go ahead and type that in the space. Okay, now I'm going to double check to make sure I have an answer for each question. Looks like I do, and my name is on it. So I'm going to go ahead now and click submit. I know that my answers have been submitted because it gives me a message, and it even tells me to complete the independent practice before 10 p.m. So don't forget to do that. And once again, don't forget, office hours are every day between 2:30 and 3:30, so you can get any help with any of your work. All right, guys, great job today. Don't forget to do your independent practice. See you tomorrow.